Hey amazing hackers, I'm TORHAT from HM Cyber Academy. Today we'll be looking at Redeemer machine. So as you can see, I have already started the machine and I have connected VPN. I have created a Redeemer directory and I have also started the Nmap scan. I have created a new node called Redeemer. So let's get started. Which TCP port is open on the machine? So we have to see the Nmap scan. So let me explain this Nmap scan. This is common procedure, right, till here. So nmap and the IP address, and this one is asking for a service version. This dash p dash will take care of 65,536 ports. Okay, so out of which we only want to look at open ports. Okay, and then dash dash min rate will say that at least 1000 requests per second has to be sent to this target IP address. Okay, so this scan would be a lot faster than your usual scan. So let's see the results, and here it says these many ports filtered and these many ports closed. Okay, so only this port is open. On this open port we have run a service version scan. So it turns out we are running a Redis service, and this is the version that is running. So Redis key value store 5.0.7. For our first question, so this will be the answer. Okay, so this port is open on the machine. Okay, so which service is running on the port that is open on the machine? So Redis service is running on the port, right? So this is the service that is running. So what type of database is Redis? Choose from the following options. So in-memory database, traditional database. So to understand Redis, you need to understand how Redis actually works. So usual database has this server, and in this server there are hard drives and CPU and RAM, right? So these are hardware components in this server. Okay, so usual server will store the database in hard disk drive, right? Or hard disk drive, or you can say solid state drive. Both are actually considered as secondary memory, but this one is the primary memory. Whenever we have to process some data, this data will be transferred from secondary memory to primary memory, and then from primary memory it will interact with the CPU. So this is a typical database. So this is how a database will be stored usually, right? But Redis is different. Redis will store everything in RAM itself, which means in primary memory. Okay, and there are still hard disk drives or SSDs still, and there is CPU as usual. The database is stored right here. Okay, not here, but here. What happens in case of power cuts or system shutdown and so on? This database will have a backup in hard disk drive. Okay, so this is just backup. This is not where it actually takes the data from. Okay, so regular backups to the hard disk or SSD will be happening to provide consistency. But the database is always stored inside the RAM to enable fast data access. So that's why this kind of database is called in-memory database. So this Redis is remote dictionary server. Okay, so this one is an open source advanced NoSQL key value data store used as a database or cache or message broker. Everything in this database is like a key value pairs. So the data is stored in dictionary format having key value pairs. It is typically used for short-term storage of data that needs fast retrieval. So let's get back. So this is called in-memory database. So we'll just copy. So this is not a traditional database. So let's go on to the next one. Which command line utility is used to interact with Redis server? Enter program name you would enter in the terminal without any arguments. So usually if you want to interact with the Redis database, you would need Redis CLI. Okay, so Redis CLI. So this is a command line utility you can use to interact with Redis database in the Redis server. There is another way you can use, and that is called netcat. So now let's try to use netcat to connect to Redis server. Okay, and the port is this one. Control Shift C. Okay, so you don't see anything right now, but if you type info, you can see that we have successfully connected to Redis server using netcat. So since it wants us to use Redis CLI, so this is currently not installed in our system. So to install this, you just have to type the command and press the return key, and then it will say, so you have to download Redis tool in order to execute Redis CLI. So we don't know that we need to use Redis tools, right? But we just need to type the command and hit enter, and the APT is smart enough to detect which tools to be installed in order to execute this command. Okay, so just type yes and type the password. So this one is currently installed, and let's see. Okay, so it's saying it's not connected. So let's exit. It's just looking at the local host. We don't have any Redis server right here. We'll just see how we can connect to this. Okay, so currently it is Redis CLI. So the next one is which flag is used with the Redis command line utility to specify the host name. So let's go back. To mention the host name, you just have to type -h. Okay, this is not a help menu, this is a host mentioning. So if you want to see the help menu, you can type --help. So this is where you can see all the help menu. So to use the host name, so you have to say Redis CLI -h and then the host name, which is the IP address, and it will automatically detect the port number because the default port is 6379. Okay, so just hit enter, and now you have connected to Redis server. Okay, so to check, you can just type info and hit enter, and now you have all this data that is returned by the Redis server. Okay, so it is -h. Okay, so this is how we have mentioned hostname. Okay, once connected to a Redis server, which command is used to obtain the information on statistics about the Redis server? So that one is info. So we have typed it already a couple of times. And do you remember what version this is? So it was 507. I'll just go back to show you. So 5.0.7, Control Shift C, paste it and enter. Done. So which command is used to select the desired database in Redis? So first you have to list the database, then you can select the desired database in Redis. Okay, so in order to do that, you can do this in couple of ways. So the first one you can do is you can use info command. So in info command, you can see that at the end database 0 is there. So the 0 is the index number of the database, which means this is the first database that exists in Redis server, and it has 4 keys and it never expires, and average TTL is 0. Okay, so this is one way to find. Or else, if you don't want to log into Redis, you can actually combine this with info command and grep it with database, which means it's DB. So you're just filtering this part. So once this command finishes, it will just come out of this Redis server automatically. Okay, as you can see, it came out and it gave us this database. Okay, once we know the database, we can actually select this database. Okay, so once you're in the Redis server and we know that the index of the database is 0, so you use select command and the index, which is 0. Okay, so this is how you select a database. Okay, so you use select command. All right, so let's see the next one. How many keys are present inside the database with index 0? So once you have selected certain database, you have to say keys asterisk, which means this is a wildcard which will select all keys. So here you can see all the list of keys, and if you go back in the output, it says there are 4 keys. Okay, so from here you can say the number of keys, but from here you will know what that keys are. Okay, so the number of keys are 4. So submit. So which command is used to obtain all the keys in the database? So it is keys asterisk, right? So once you got that, let's go and get the root flag. So here there's a key called flag. So let's get this flag by using get. They're asking for a key, right? So we give the key name, okay, and then we get the flag. Okay, so let's copy this and submit. So I hope you get it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.